celery, marshmallow fluff, jam and jelly. The identities of these pathetic and worthless foods are shaped by a delicacy that we all know as peanut butter. A staple of the modern American household, peanut butter is and always has been the creme de la creme, the president's choice when it comes to taste, value, and convenience. But what happens when Junior can no longer indulge himself in a rich, creamy, tasteful tablespoon of peanut butter without keeling over, dead? Research has shown that peanut allergies have been on the rise in American households over the past few years. This onslaught of medical paranoia has indeed given peanut butter a bad name. It would seem as though this delicious, tasteful treat is no longer safe for our children. For the investigation of this story, we've decided to drop into one of the first places of higher learning, offering a safe haven from the apparent dangers of peanuts and peanut-related products. This is Ricker Dining, part of Stanford University. Come on in, join me as we investigate. In these hallowed halls of culinary excellence, music rings in the hearts and the souls of the students. Wonderful chefs cook up delicious entrees such as grilled paninis and salads. Not to mention many vegan delights such as tofu and teriyaki sauce, tofu and hot chili sauce, and tofu on ice. But one thing you won't find here at Ricker Dining is a single peanut. That's right, no peanuts. Let it sink into your mind. No peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, not even any peanut M&Ms. This peanut sensitivity is what allows Stanford University to boast itself as one of the first of its kind in the nation. But at what cost? We first interviewed Mary Dutch, the manager of Ricker Dining. Now, Mary, let me start out with maybe a more personal question. How in the devil did you guys come up with such a revolutionary idea as peanut sensitivity in Ricker Dining?
Well, you know, Parker, that's a good question. Stanford a while back analyzed exactly what made it less attractive than the Ivy League schools. And what we found out was that, well, we just hadn't been first in the nation in really anything. Harvard and Yale have been around for a while, so they took a lot of the good ones. The first dining hall, the first dining center. So we thought, what about the first peanut-sensitive environment? None of the Ivies have done that yet. So we're hoping to get some kids over from the Ivies to Stanford, primarily because of our new, original eating environment.
Now, Mary, do you serve any peanut foods at all here in Ricker Dining?
Well, of course. We have special segregated peanut products that are sealed and contained in a far corner of the dining area, right over there.
Let's talk about a word that you just used, segregation. Now, that tends to bring up painful memories for me of the Holocaust, for instance. And it seems we have a situation here where we have peanut butter individually encased, jailed, if you will, and secluded back in the back corner. What's up?
I think you highly underestimate the seriousness of a peanut allergy, my sir.
Now, Mary, if this is indeed such a terrible disease, can I call it a disease? Is that all right?
Oh, I think that's personally an insensitive word.
Okay, I'm going to use disease as a word. Do you think that this disease is so bad? And if so, what are some of the symptoms that we're looking at here?
Well, Parker, for an individual who has a mild reaction to a peanut allergy, they may experience such things as itching and swelling of the throat and hives. However, as we progress to more serious reactions, we see a severe swelling of the trachea that allows them to not even be able to breathe. Also, we see gastrointestinal problems such as anal leakage. In the most severe cases, we see individuals that may go through anaphylactic shock or even death.
Now, Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, but these seemed kind of like everyday occurrences to me. They don't seem that severe after all. I mean, God knows I've had anal bleeding since I was 3 years old. I'm wearing training diapers right now. The question is, are there any other symptoms that you haven't mentioned that maybe aren't so common in everyday life? Nothing. Interesting. Nothing at all. You can't give me one slightest inclination that you may be onto something here with this peanut sensitivity thing. After the commercial break, we will interview some of the poor saps who are forced to cope with this peanut-free environment. A warning for those of you watching at home: if you have suffered from a heart attack or stroke, if you are currently pregnant, or if you have eaten food in the past 30 minutes, we advise you to please turn off your televisions. Also, for those of you with small children in the area, these stories are bound to scare the living piss out of them, so get ready to change some diapers. And we're back. We recently interviewed a student codenamed Poseidon who's desperately trying to manage himself in these difficult times. Let's take a look at the footage. How concerned are you that you'll no longer be able to consume peanuts here in Ricker Dining?
I'm not very concerned. I never really cared for peanut butter and jelly. I'm much more of a tofurkey person.
Maybe if I rephrase the question, consider a hypothetical situation where you're an adamant lover of legumes. How appalled are you now?
I'm very appalled.
Poor, poor bastard.